What if Spider-Noir is secretly connected to the Spider-Verse movies this entire time? Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Ever since Sony officially revealed Spider-Noir, fans have been asking one massive question. Is this version of Spider-Man connected to Into the Spider-Verse, or is it a completely separate universe? And honestly, after looking at the details, things start getting very interesting. From the noir-inspired multiverse setup and possible connections to Spider-Man, Into the Spider-Verse to rumors surrounding variants, timelines, and returning characters, there are already a lot of clues that Sony could be building something much bigger behind the scenes. In today's video, we're breaking down whether Spider-Noir is actually connected to the Spider-Verse movies, how the timelines might connect together, and why this could completely change the future of Sony's Spider-Man universe. Trust me, some of these theories are way crazier than you think, so make sure to stick around till the end, because this mystery gets deeper the more you look into it. Spider-Noir is a brand new superhero series with clear similarities to Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which has left many fans wondering whether the two are actually connected. Even though Spider-Man Noir is a variant of Spider-Man from Marvel Comics, many people were first introduced to the character in 2018 Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, a movie that brought multiple Spider people together from across the multiverse. One of the standout variants was Spider-Man Noir, a black-and-white private investigator version of Spider-Man living in 1930s New York. The character later returned in Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and is also expected to appear in Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. In all three animated films, the character is voiced by Nicolas Cage, who is now returning once again in 2026 for the live-action Spider-Noir series. The new Spider-Noir show follows Cage as an older version of the hero living in a noir-inspired version of New York. Naturally, because of the visual similarities and Nicolas Cage returning to the role, many fans assume the show might secretly connect to the Spider-Verse movies. However, Spider-Noir is actually a completely separate story. For starters, Nicolas Cage's live-action character is reportedly based more on Ben Reilly from Marvel Comics, rather than Peter Parker, who was the version seen in the Spider-Verse films. The series also does not reference the events, characters, or storyline from Into the Spider-Verse at all. Instead, it focuses on telling a standalone noir detective story with a darker and more grounded version of Spider-Man than audiences have seen before. So as of now, Spider-Noir is not officially connected to Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. That means the next time fans will likely see the animated Spider-Man Noir from the Spider-Verse movies is in Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. Still, even though the new live-action series is separate, there are small references and subtle nods to the multiverse concept that fans of the Spider-Verse franchise will probably notice. The opening scene of Spider-Noir Episode 1 immediately gives fans a small but important connection to the Spider-Verse movies. The series begins with Nicolas Cage's version of Ben Reilly swinging through a dark, noir-inspired New York City while narrating his backstory as both a citizen and the masked vigilante known as the Spider. Right from the very first line, the show quietly references the Spider-Verse concept. Ben says that someone once asked him what universe this was, a strange question that stayed with him for years. He explains that the only answer he could give was that it was the only universe he knew. This line may sound simple at first, but it is actually a clever nod to the multiverse concept established in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Even though Spider-Noir is not directly connected to the animated films, this opening monologue confirms that the Spider-Verse still exists within the larger reality of the show. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse explored the idea that countless universes exist across a giant web of spider people. The live-action Spider-Noir series seems to acknowledge that Ben Reilly's world is simply one of those many universes. However, the key difference is that his universe does not appear to play any important role in the overall Spider-Verse storyline. Instead, Spider-Noir focuses entirely on its own darker and more grounded noir detective story. Nicolas Cage's Ben Reilly works as a private investigator during the day, while secretly operating as the Spider at night. The tone, setting, and storytelling style are all very different from the animated Spider-Verse movies. So, while there are still similarities between Cage's different Spider-Man variants, Spider-Noir makes it very clear that this version of Ben Reilly exists independently from the events of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. He may technically exist somewhere within the multiverse, but he has no direct connection to the main Spider-Verse story at all. Alright guys, That explains whether Spider-Noir is actually connected to the Spider-Verse movies or not. Right now, it definitely looks like the series exists somewhere within the larger Spider-Verse multiverse, but at the same time, it's also very clear that Nicolas Cage's version of Ben Reilly is meant to stand completely on its own without directly affecting the animated storylines. And honestly, that might actually be the smartest decision Sony could make. Instead of forcing another complicated multiverse crossover, Spider-Noir seems focused on telling a darker, more grounded detective story with its own unique style and atmosphere. But now I want to hear from you guys. Do you think Spider-Noir should eventually cross over with the Spider-Verse movies? Or should the series stay completely separate from Miles Morales in the animated universe? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future Spider-Man breakdowns, theories, and updates. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.